What's up, YouTube? So obviously you know by the title of this video what we're doing today, and clearly they're already on the truck. It's actually a couple days later. I just wanted to put a little disclaimer in here. When you're watching this, I did screw up a little bit. You don't need to run 2 wires to get this running light to work. The blue wire that's already there is what you're going to use, so you're going to splice that diode, the side without the resistor, just the diode. You're going to splice that back into the blue wire going to this light here, and the wire going to the light on the front, on the mirror glass itself, you're just going to leave that. You're not going to cut that at all. Okay, so I'm going to take the top one off. I can't quite get my fingers underneath this one, so what you're going to want to do, if I can get in here right, you're going to want to stick your hands under there, and your thumbs on the side. Now, the way this is held in the middle, there's a circle, and there's 4 clips, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they all have these little tiny tabs on them, and that's what you're most likely gonna break if you're not doing it right. I did break one on the first one, so we're gonna try not to on this one. So just know that going into it, that's how it's held on. So you just kind of want to well, broke some on that one. Broke two tabs on that one, so that kind of sucks. So you're gonna want to pull these off. If I can get in here. You're gonna want to pull these. These are for the heat element, and then this is for your blinker. So there you go. Mirror's off. This bottom one comes off easy. Same deal. No broken tabs on that one. That one pops off real easy. Alright, so the next step, once you have the mirrors off, is to pull the screws out holding this trim panel on. Mine has 4, 1 in each corner. Yours might only have 3 with 1 right here. It depends on what brand mirror you have. So I'm going to pull these out real quick. I got the drill here to in fact make this a little bit quicker. Alright, so those are all out. Pull this up. You don't want to yank this out because there's a plug right here going into this light. So once you pull that plug out, you're good to go. Step, once you have this panel off, you're going to want to extend your mirror. And what we're going to be doing now is pulling off this piece here. That way we can run our wires up into it and into the mirror itself. I might be able to see, there's a little hole right in here. And that's, you're gonna stick a screwdriver, whatever you got to pry that out. And so you're gonna have a clip there where that little hole is. You're gonna have a clip back here in this corner, and you're gonna have the same exact thing on the other side. So there's 4 little clips holding that on. Just something to keep in mind so you know where to kind of be pulling on it. There we go. Now it's off. So that comes right off. Once you have all that taken apart, you're gonna want to get your wire. I have red and black. I went with 16 gauge because I wasn't sure which size to use. 16 gauge ended up being a little bit bigger than what I needed, but it's still gonna work. These wires here seem to be about 20 gauge. So I mean, 18 gauge would have been better, 20 probably would have been even better. But we're gonna work with what we got. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take your wire, you're gonna wanna pull out about enough to go from about this point here to however long this cable comes out to. Alright, so you got your wire. You're gonna wanna pull this foam piece out of here. And now, if you look, for some reason they ran this wire through this bottom hole, and then up and around and up there. What I found is easier if you just go through this hole here. It pops right out in the top here, and I don't see why that's going to be in the way. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the easiest way I found to do this, if you take your wire, you just kind of bend a little bit of a hook. And you want to stick it through sideways, so flat like this. Just kind of stick it through there until it comes out in there. You can see that. Once it's in there, if you twist it, now see how it's popped up there, you can grab it a lot easier, and then pull it on through. So we're gonna do that with the red one too. Now that you got those through there, you're gonna want to stick them through here, and they'll come right out here. Pull that through. Now, like I said, you want to give yourself plenty of extra wire to play with down here. Alright, so this is going to be a good time to plug in your soldering iron, get it all heating up nice and hot. I'm going to show you guys what you're going to need as far as resistors and diodes go in order to make these mirrors dual function. What I have for the diodes, this is what I've seen other people use. I don't know for sure this is exactly what you need, but I mean, the one's already kind of cut off there, but 1N 4007, and if you look at these, you see one end is silver, and that's the end that you want to point towards the light on the front. You want both of the diodes with the silver stripe facing that light in the front. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow the current to flow towards the light and not back the other way, because you're splicing two wires together going to one light. So you don't want the current from this one crossing back and going back down this wire. So that's the purpose for the diodes. What you're going to do is you're going to put the two of them together, and you're just going to twist these. Doesn't need to be perfect because you're going to obviously solder them. It's just kind of to hold them together for the time being. And for the resistors, I'm using a 270 ohm. I meant to get a 1/2 watt. I by accident got a 1/4 watt. I'm not really sure what the difference is. I know these ones are smaller in size, but like, I mean, I showed you guys the other mirrors working perfectly fine, so hopefully I shouldn't have any problems. But I think what you guys, if you're watching this and you're trying to figure out what to order, I would go ahead and get the 1/2 watt just to be safe. And then, so what you're gonna do with these, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna twist them together just for the time being, because you're gonna solder it, and you're just gonna add that resistor to one of these leads. All right, so now that you got those soldered together, you got this wire goes to the light on the front. It's got a yellow plug. Might be a different color depending on the mirror you have, but obviously you're gonna unplug that, and then this goes to that light on the mirrored glass itself. You're gonna want to cut this with quite a bit extra if you can. And then just kind of pull this out here. And this we're gonna just kind of wrap up and tuck away later on. And you're gonna cut this other blue one too. So, and how you're gonna wanna set this up, you're gonna want your running light hooked up to your resistor, and you're gonna want your blinker hooked up to the side without the resistor. And then, so this is gonna be on the front, and so you're gonna wanna connect both of them, both sides of the diodes, both running light and blinker, to this light on the front. Now this light that goes in the mirror, you're gonna wanna connect to the black wire on this side of the diode before the diode itself. So that way you have these all connecting here before it connects with the running light. Before you solder those together, you're gonna wanna get your heat shrink and throw it on these wires. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. You're gonna kind of let it cool for a little bit, and then you're gonna slide your heat shrink, and you're gonna slide it and cover as much of each side of these, because you don't want these two sides touching. After the diodes is fine, it's just this side of the diodes you do not want. And there you go. Now all your wiring's done. Next step is to put everything back together and clean it all up. So now we're gonna put this back on. And so you're gonna wanna connect this light here. And these and this, you're gonna wanna pull over here. Pull your glass over here and plug these back in. They really don't matter which way you put them in. So as long as they're both plugged in, you're good to go. And if you don't have a heated mirror, you're not gonna have those, obviously. And then you're gonna plug this in. This part's easy, this piece snaps right on, no problem. Just like it came off. And bam, that is all done. And then, you're just gonna push that on there. And what was a pain in the ass for me, you can see those ones there don't wanna quite go on. So what I did for this is stuck a screwdriver in here and kind of pulled up and pushed down at the same time. That didn't quite work. There. So that popped in, you can see there now.